Okay. Very quick one here. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Welcome to BWTM Sports. Breaking news. He got the message. He finally got the message. Joshua BUATSI has changed trainers. He's now linked up with Virgil Hunter. So, according to Matchroom, Joshua BUATSI, the unbeaten light heavyweight, has now switched trainers from his amateur coach to now training with Virgil Hunter. I've been calling for this change for how long? And to be honest, the reason why I call for this change is, take a look at this picture here. Am I going to put the picture up? No. I don't want a leading light heavyweight and he's getting hit and his face is swelling up like this. That's a guy who's and it's not even against a pitcher. Can you imagine if he gets hit? Clearly, the boxing world are listening. If not the boxing world, the boxers are listening. We've had Josie Parker change his trainer or changing his trainer, and now Joshua BUATSI has now changed his trainer, and this is good news. This is very good news. Yeah, absolutely exciting news. You're a Joshua BUATSI fan, Ruben Guerrero. So he said he idolized Ward on the come up. Joshua BUATSI needs to look at Eddie now. He's been far too inactive. Well, yeah, we can talk about inactive, but, you know, I don't mind him being inactive, working with a top trainer and improving his skill set. You understand? So all that time he's inactive, I hope he was working with Virgil Hunter behind closed doors, and now we're hearing about it later on, rather than he's going to go and train Virgil Hunter now. See, but that's good. Now, apart from Andre Ward, I'm not sure how much long-term success Virgil Hunter's had with other fighters. I could be wrong in saying this. I mean, Virgil Hunter's a mentor, and you have to remember with Virgil Hunter, he was working with Andre Ward, who had tremendous a skill set, and we can only hope that Joshua BUATSI can learn something from Virgil Hunter. You know, Virgil Hunter and Andre Ward had a unique relationship. And for all Virgil Hunter taught Amir Khan, it still didn't stop him getting knocked out. It still didn't stop him being predictable and being able to get timed by Canelo to get knocked out by one shot. It didn't help Amir Khan improve his defenses. Do you understand? And I like Virgil Hunter. I think I've met him in person. I think he's a really fascinating young man. But a fascinating man. And let's just hope those whispers of Virgil Hunter actually, well, it's got to be better than what he's actually been had before training him. So it's definitely a positive move. Whether it's the right move, you know, Virgil Hunter has been well. I know he's getting better now. Whether Virgil Hunter is the right move for BUATSI, I'm not sure how long this relationship can last. And, you know, whether Virgil Hunter is going to be coming to the UK or BUATSI is going to get to America. And whether Virgil Hunter is going to be able to work out the kinks within BUATSI's armor quick enough before Eddie fast tracks him into hell. Because we know that Matchroom fast track all their fighters into hell. So it's a matter of, is this a short? Is Virgil Hunter able to be that stopgap from BUATSI facing the inevitable, being fast tracked and stuck into a world title fight within the next 3 to 4 fights, or is this opportunity for Virgil Hunter and BUATSI to actually get to work so we can produce a real, genuinely world-class light heavyweight? Now, I've always thought that Joshua BUATSI is a bit small for light heavy and felt that maybe he could do better at super middleweight. That could just be me, but I've never been convinced he's the biggest of light heavyweights, and I'm still not convinced he's the biggest of punchers at light heavyweight. And I think time will tell with that, because when he actually meets guys that are physically strong themselves and can punch, i.e. guys like Callum Johnson, more world level, big punching power. But I would want to see how that works out. Good evening, Ingram. How much more improved the fight will BWTM be with that new trainer, do you think? By the way, you look like you've turned back the clock a few years. Fountain of youth. I think it is, brother. I think it is. Good life, good living. That's what it is. Like I said, I don't know. I've been calling for him to have a trainer. I don't want to sound like I'm contradicting myself here by saying he needed a new trainer. He absolutely needed a new trainer. But the Matchroom forecast, it's almost like the prophet of doom. You just don't know when, pardon my French, shit is going to hit the fan, because they're fast tracking everybody. And you just don't know, well, Joshua BWTSI's step-up fight. When are they going to say that? When are they going to stick BWTSI in a step-up fight? I hope they stick him in a step-up fight in time that Virgil Hunter's had enough time to work with BWTSI. Do you understand what I'm saying? Because it's got that, it's coming to that time with BWTSI where, he's going to have a coming out party. Is that coming out party going to be against Callum Johnson? Is that coming out party going to be against the recently signed Anthony Yard? Is that coming out party going to be against, I don't know, a light heavyweight, which is on the up? And I don't know. But you just know the history of Matchroom and their fighters. And all I'm saying is, let's hope that Virgil Hunter and BWTSI have enough time to work together before the daring to be great line is spun out once again from Matchroom. I'm sick of it. From outside, it looks Ward and JB have similar mentalities. They both don't like talking crap and keep their head down. I think that's about as far as those similarities go. Andre Ward is innately defensively responsible. BWTSI is not. BWTSI is more guns blazing, want to go out there and knock a guy out, seek and destroy. Andre Ward is more about, let me think about what I do before I throw my punches. BWTSI is about, let me throw my punches, try and get the guy out there as quick as possible. Two different mentalities. So that's where JB and Andre Ward cut different cloths. Not saying he's not a good fighter. I am saying, no, there is a difference. And we can't expect Virgil Hunter to work miracles. He's not a miracle worker. I always said Virgil Hunter is the guy you go to after you get beat up and you get knocked out and nobody cares about you. That's who you go to, Virgil Hunter. And he comes and he gives you a lot of love and a lot of care and attention and brings you back from the dead. That's why I see Virgil Hunter. Virgil Hunter, if you look at Andre Berta's career when he got beat up, he's almost like he resurrects your career. When you get beat up and knocked out, or you come off a bad whooping, ass whooping, you go to Virgil Hunter. He's the guy that resuscitates your career. That's why I look at Virgil Hunter. I don't know if that's what BWTSI needs at this time. I don't know, but we'll soon find out. Will Virgil let BWTSI get fed to wolves? It's not okay. It's not a case of that. I mean, BWTSI clearly has gone outside the Matchroom typical trainers. I mean, he hasn't gone with Sims or Tibbs or Jamie Moore or what's his name? What's the guy? Shane McGuigan. He hasn't gone down that route. He's gone outside the box. So who knows? Can see BWTSI fighting Spider after he loses to Bivol. Well, you see, daring to be great yet again. Defibrillator, yeah. So that's it. I didn't want to go too much into it. Joshua BWTSI, wherever you are in the world today, well done. Congratulations, young man. A good move in terms of getting yourself out of the track that you were on. It's good because you're going to be with a guy who's got a mountain of wisdom and understanding and can mentor you. And that's one thing Virgil Hunter is good at. He's good at mentoring fighters. I don't know if it's mentoring that BWTSI needs at this time. He definitely needs to work on his defense because that's shocking. And defense, he's going to need 3 or 4 fights with Virgil Hunter. And like I said, is he going to have enough time on the matchroom timetable to be able to work on that defense enough to prevent himself getting knocked out in between those 3 or 4 fights? Because I don't rate his defense. I really don't rate his defense. So I really don't. So let's hope that Virgil Hunter can teach him to more upper body movement, moving his head, slipping shots, slipping under shots, blocking, parrying, slipping, blocking, parrying shots, slipping, rolling, cross-arm defense, whatever he needs to do, and learn to be good doing those things, because Joshua BUATSI is too upright. He's too upright, moves the straight lines, looks like a mummy, moves the straight lines, and he's just vulnerable to getting hit with a right hand over the top. That is something that he's going to definitely have to work on. So those are areas that I'd like to see BUATSI working on. And if you can take a page out of Andre Ward in working on defense, working on being a better inside fighter, because he's going to have to learn to be a better inside fighter, because there are bigger guys and taller guys are light heavyweight. And he's going to have to learn how to fight on the inside if he's going to be a successful light heavyweight. At the upper echelons, We'll be interested to compare JB after move to American training to the other British light heavyweights, still with matchroom stable or fight trains. Well, he'll definitely expand and improve faster than being under a British trainer, I believe, and that's not biased. I just think that he will learn more under an American trainer, and simply because if he's in America, he's going to have more areas of quality sparring, so he can get a bag of different assortment of light heavyweights and super middleweights and cruiserweights he can work with and spar with and learn under a very good trainer who will mentor him. So I think it's going to be great that way. JB a little too amateur. Hopefully Virgil will give him, I hope so. Another good thing for this move is better quality sparring in America. You just hit the nail on the head as I was just saying that. Yes, you will get quality sparring. But, and there's a big but with this quality sparring in America, where some fighters that leave their best work in the gym, a la Amir Khan, who was with Freddie Roach. And I said to people a long time ago, the Freddie Roach combination with Amir Khan was an absolutely shocking thing to do, because Khan didn't need to work on attack. It was defense he needed to work on. I saw it that Khan became more defensively responsible under Virgil Hunter, but Khan's IQ isn't the greatest. I think BUATSI's got a higher level of IQ. No disrespect to Amir Khan, but as you saw for the fight against Canelo, for example, the level of Khan's IQ. You throw a shot, you stay in the pocket, you throw a shot, you throw the same shot twice, you move away, you hit with a body shot, you come back and do the same thing again, you get walloped with a right hand over the top. That you can't do those things at the highest level of boxing and expect to get away with it. If you ain't got a good chin, you're going to get walloped. So the quality of sparring is going to be key, absolutely key for BUATSI, but it's, again, how that sparring is looked after. I'm sure Virgil Hunter will do a good job with BUATSI looking after him. Well, I would hope. The only other concern is because we know Virgil wasn't well at one point in time. I don't know the ins and outs of that illness and whether it's a reoccurring, that will reoccur. What will happen if BUATSI doesn't have Virgil Hunter? What will be the backup plan? Who will be Virgil Hunter's assistant trainer? If things, those are things I would want to know as well for BUATSI, if I'm BUATSI. Yes, Kenny, big up, brother. How you doing? Good to see you in the house. Daring to be great, Ingram versus Tyson Fury. Anthony Joshua one night. Dare to be great, Ingram. Yeah, mate. Dare to be great on the UFC game only. That's about as far as the daring to be great there. But I'm glad to hear BUATSI has changed his trainer. And what's really made me really happy is that the message is getting through. A potential pay-per-view superstar's career may have been saved by him switching trainers. I'm hoping, I'm praying this is the case for Joshua BUATSI. Yard should follow. I knew that was coming. Anthony Yard. Look, the questions to be asked: is Yard as good as people think he is, or is Yard as good as he thinks he is? He's a very charismatic young man, but what's his boxing IQ like? I mean, 2 fights, and the same thing more or less has happened from the Kovalev fight into the Arthur fight. Lightning strikes twice in the same place, which is the left jab. You ask yourself the question, really? Is that Tunde Ajayi's fault? Or is that Anthony Yard's fault? Who takes responsibility there? And he had enough gas in the tank this time round against Arthur. And in the 12th round, he turned it on. Why didn't he turn it on earlier on? Because he says he's Mr. Entertainment. Why didn't he turn it on earlier? Because he felt it was comfortable. Don't know. But I don't think everything should be put in front of Tunde Ajayi's door, which I think is a bit unfair, because I think a lot of people jump on Tunde Ajayi because he's outspoken. But the reason why Tunde is outspoken is because there's a lot of people who have a lot to say in boxing, and they don't mind giving it out, but when it's given back at them, the person's seen as hostile. So some of the things Tunde says, like, if you don't study boxing, if you don't watch boxing, and you're a boxing trainer, then maybe it probably isn't best that you put yourself in positions where you're interviewed and asked certain questions about fighters, and you leave answers out which leave you to be, I won't use the word exposed, but leave you to be vulnerable. I think Derek Chisora said it best to me when we were having dinner together at Nando's, and he said to me, I said to him, and this was before he was going to fight Vitaly Klitschko, I said to him, do you watch boxing? He goes, nah, I don't watch boxing. I'm looking at a guy back to fight Vitaly Klitschko. And he said to me, I don't watch boxing. Nah, I don't watch boxing. I don't pay attention to boxing. I think that's something that is quite shocking. I know boxing is a very intense sport, as with most sports, but I think you should really study your opponents, or study who's in your division at least. That helps. And if you're a trainer, you really do need, I think, in some ways, he reminds me of Andrew Tabiti. Yeah, I see that. Incognito, good seeing him. One of my favourite prospects. So I'm pleased he's looking a new trainer. Yep, I agree. Easy and Groom, hope you're good. Mr. Incognito, it's good to see you in the room and good to see you in the chat. His voice. Yeah, well, dream it, believe it, become it. Listen, you got to back yourself. If nobody else wants to back you, you got to back yourself. And when the UK supporters are behind you, it's great. When the UK support ain't behind you, it's a difficult place, and it's almost like going up an escalator, going down the other way. The escalator is going down, you're going up a downhill escalator. So you're constantly having to pat yourself on the back. When you get to the point where you just don't care what people think, and you are able to just do what you have to do without caring what people think, and you don't really care what people's opinions of you are, then you're less likely to have your reactions. But unfortunately for Tunde, what I see seems to happen unfairly, and so I think people enjoy that. And yeah, but I don't think everything should be put in front of Tunde's door, because at the end of the day, Anthony Yard is the fighter, and he has to take some element of responsibility. A good example of that is when Calzaghe fought Kessler, and Kessler started to get on top of Calzaghe, and Calzaghe changed his game plan in the middle of the fight. That's what separates the fight, a good fighter, a more decent good fighter, to a great fighter. Being able to make changes on the fly. Mayweather, another, being able to make changes on the fly. When things aren't going the way you want them to go, the fight's not going the way that he should be going, or the game plan's not working, you could change the game plan. I don't know if Anthony Yarde's one of those guys. And if Anthony Yarde's not one of those guys, because I haven't seen him box any other way than the way he boxes, which means he's almost limited at what he does. This is not slagging Anthony Yarde off, but I haven't seen him box any different. I haven't. I've seen him have gears. But I think that third, if I'm his trainer, that third gear he has, where he actually, like we see in round 12 and what we saw in round 7 or 8 against Kovalev, I'd like to see that gear exercised more often, rather than leaving that somewhere in the gym to be called upon when you feel like it. I'd like to see him exercise that, and it has a little bit more passion behind it. Has a little bit more, has a little more oomph in what he's doing. That's what I'd like to see with Anthony Yarde. Ruben Guerrero says, Tunde lost twice with Yarde now. Pat Barrett said it best. How much responsible is Tunde taking on himself those losses? Pat was like, he'd blame himself for not getting man ready. Yeah, I think it's Yarde's got to take responsibility as well. Empty the tank, no in between gears, LOL. Well, Hunter's an exciting choice. The thing, he hopefully teach him what BUATSI needs. Better defense, inside fighting, some veteran moves. Hopefully Ward will get involved in some capacity. That, with Ward being involved, would be absolutely amazing. And again, I'm going to throw it out to you. 2 comebacks I'm going to put money on. Vladimir Klitschko's comeback, I'll put money on that one. And Andre Ward's comeback, I'll put money on that one. And I might put a sneaky little bet on Tony Bellew in the what's that new Bridgerweight title. Those 3. Klitschko, Ward, Bellew. Those 3 I would say I would put sneaky money on. Klitschko definitely coming back. Ward, and if he is coming back, it'll be against Canelo. If he thinks he can beat Canelo, I think he'll look at that Billy Joe Saunders fight, and from there, I think he might make a decision there. And Tony Bellew, I think he's looking at a Bridgerweight title, to be honest. Pray Vlad Bellew gets made so Vlad can autonomize Tony. That's going to happen. Not going to happen. I don't see it happening. I think Vlad will try and come back to become the oldest heavyweight champion in history. That's what I think he's going to try and do. That's what I think he'll try and do. Right. I think I've said enough now. Vitaly Klitschko would be big trouble at that weight to anyone. Hell, with 2 or 3 fights under his belt, he'd be too much for the heavyweights. Vitaly Klitschko, damn. That's a serious monster, that beast there. Serious business there. Can you imagine Ward Beterbiev? Yeah, I can see Ward beating Beterbiev because Beterbiev can't fight on the inside. It'll be like a similar fight to the Kovalev fight. It'll be a similar fight to the Kovalev fight. I told you, these East European guys can't fight on the inside, so Ward will step inside. And remember, Callum Johnson got on the inside, cracked Beterbiev. Beterbiev cannot fight backing up. Told you already, Beterbiev cannot fight backing up. If you put Beterbiev back against the ropes and you get on the inside, he doesn't know what to do. Beterbiev is very dangerous when you're at distance. But when you close the range of Beterbiev and get on the inside, that's where he's vulnerable. I said it about Kovalev. I'll say it about Beterbiev. So that's my thoughts on Beterbiev. I think Ward stops Bivol and makes Beterbiev quick like Chad Dawes. Bivol's different. Bivol's different. I like Bivol. I think Bivol's the best light heavyweight in the world. But that's my opinion. I think Bivol can fight at long range, can fight at distance, gives you a bit of lateral movement, awkward style. And he's fought, you look at Bill's resume, he's been slowly knocking off the list of names in the light heavyweight division. Joe Smith Jr., I think, is going to still be a name we've got to watch out for. I think he's an improving fighter, and I would tell Joshua BUATSI stay well away from Joe Smith. Well away from Joe Smith. I think he's a very dangerous lad. Very dangerous. In fact, I'm going to do a video on him at one point soon. Right. I think I'm done here for now. I think I'm done. But yep. I think so. I think I'm done here. Thank you all so much for watching. As always, this has been BWTM Sports. Much love to you all. Love in the comments in the comment section. I'm loving the comments in the comment section. Interesting. It's nice to see people going back and forth in the comment section now. Nice. Enjoying it. So thank you all so much. And let's keep going. Don't forget to rate, subscribe, leave your comments as always. BWTM Sports. Ingram Jones here, and it's a wrap. See you all later.